Hey there. If you've landed here tonight, it's probably not by accident. Because some prayers aren't spoken with fire. They're whispered from the ashes. This space, this quiet corner of the internet, isn't for the ones with all the answers. It's for the ones who are still waiting in the dark, who are too tired to cry, too numb to scream, too worn out to even ask for help anymore. This is sacred stillness, a place for the prayers that don't have words, for the silence between the sobs, for the heaviness that doesn't lift, but somehow you keep breathing anyway. Tonight's prayer is not for the joyful, not for the hopeful. It's for the ones who sit quietly and wonder, is this calm peace? Or have I just finally given up? Maybe you've stopped fighting. Maybe the tears have dried up. Maybe you don't even know what you believe anymore. Only that something inside you feels gone. And yet, you're still here, still listening, still reaching, even if just with a whisper. So let this prayer meet you where you are, not in fire, not in clarity, but in the soft gray space of not knowing, the place where you're not healed, not broken, just numb. And maybe that's not the end of your story. Maybe it's just the silence before something returns. So if your heart's gone quiet, let this be your prayer tonight. Let's begin. I don't feel anymore. Hey God, I don't know when it started, this quietness inside me, this fog. It wasn't sudden. It didn't arrive with thunder or a scream. It came slowly, like water seeping under a locked door, one drop at a time, until I woke up and realized I was underwater. And the strangest thing is, I'm not panicking. I'm not flailing. I'm just floating, still, silent, numb. I don't feel angry. I don't feel hopeful. I don't even feel afraid that I've stopped feeling. I just notice it. Like a wall with no pictures. Like a house where the lights are off, but no one bothers to turn them on. Like music that stopped mid-song and no one asked why. I used to cry when it got too much. I used to pace the floor, talking to you out loud in the middle of the night. I used to beg you to move, to fix something, to show me you were still near. But now, I don't even pray out loud. I don't ask. I don't plead. I don't fight. I sit. I breathe. I exist. And maybe that sounds like peace on the outside. Maybe I've learned to let go. Maybe I've matured. Maybe this is some form of spiritual progress. But it doesn't feel like healing. It feels like giving up. Not in a dramatic way, not in some catastrophic fall, but in the quiet resignation of someone who's no longer waiting for the storm to end because they've stopped hoping the sun will ever come back. God, am I broken or just burned out? Is this what it feels like when the soul gives up on wrestling? Because I used to wrestle. Oh, how I fought. I argued with you. I cried to you. I praised you through gritted teeth and clenched fists. I held on like Jacob, demanding you bless me before I let go. But now, my hands are open, not in surrender, but because I'm too tired to hold on anymore. Is that peace? Is that trust? Or is it just the final stage of someone who no longer believes her voice changes anything? I don't even know what I'm waiting for anymore. A miracle? A whisper? A feeling? Some days I want nothing. Other days I want everything. But mostly, I want to feel something again. Even pain would remind me I'm alive. Because right now, I don't even feel dead. I just feel absent. Like I'm watching life through a pane of glass. People laugh, people weep, people pray. And I sit in the same chair, day after day, watching it all like a scene I'm not a part of anymore. I've stopped asking questions, stopped trying to make sense of it, stopped pretending I have the strength to keep digging for truth in a place that only echoes back silence. And maybe that's the hardest part. Not the suffering, but the silence. You used to speak in the ache. You used to meet me in the ache. Now the ache is gone, and so are you. Or maybe I've gone so numb, I just can't feel you anymore. I don't know which is worse. Because if you're still here and I can't feel you, that's terrifying. But if you've left altogether, then what am I even doing? Still whispering into the dark like you might answer? Still showing up to the quiet like it still means something? Still clinging to a thread I can't even see anymore? Maybe that's faith. Or maybe that's delusion. I don't know, God. And I'm too tired to figure it out. All I know is I'm still here. Not because I feel hope, not because I'm strong, not because I'm healed, but because I don't know where else to go. Even in my numbness, even in this strange emotional coma I walk through every day, there's still this tiny part of me that wonders if maybe you're still listening. That maybe numbness isn't the end. That maybe it's just the beginning of something I can't see yet. So I don't bring you fire tonight. I don't bring you songs or tears or passion. I bring you this blankness, this stillness, this float. And I ask you, if I can't feel you, can you still feel me? If I can't cry, can you still hold me? If I can't speak, can you still sit here in the silence with me? Because I don't have anything to offer right now. Not faith, not strength, not words. Just the tired soul drifting in the in-between. Not healed, not broken. Just here. Still yours. Even if I don't feel it.
Used to burn, now I float. Hey God, do you remember who I used to be? The one who lit up in worship, who spoke to you like you were in the room, who cried in the shower, sang in the kitchen, and fell asleep whispering your name? I do. I remember that version of me, the one who felt everything, who burned with belief, burned with longing, burned with questions that kept me awake at night, and hope that somehow carried me through the morning. I miss her. I miss the ache that meant I was alive, the fire that hurt, yes, but also made me real, made me human, made me connected to something deeper than survival. Now I don't burn. I don't cry. I don't shake with worship or tremble with grief. I float, detached, still, suspended in some strange in-between where nothing hurts, but nothing heals either. And it's not even dramatic. It's quiet. So quiet. Like walking through fog that never lifts. You can't see far. You can't feel much, but you keep walking anyway because what else is there? God, I used to feel like a wildfire, messy, untamed, desperate for you. I used to scream at you in the dark and sing to you in the light. Now I barely whisper. And I wonder, is this maturity? Or is it apathy? Have I evolved? Or have I evaporated? Because some people say peace looks like calm, like still waters, like soft acceptance. But I don't know if this is peace. It feels more like absence. Like someone left the room and forgot to turn off the lights. And maybe I've done that to myself. Maybe I told my heart it was too exhausting to care, too dangerous to hope, too painful to keep feeling so deeply all the time. So I built walls, soft ones, pillowed ones that don't block the world out, they just muffle the sound. Now joy is muted, pain is muted, everything is quieter. I thought I was protecting myself, but I think I might have locked myself in a room where nothing touches me anymore. Not even you. That's the scary part, God, because I don't feel angry at you. I don't feel close either. I just feel nothing. Like we're still in the same story, but we're not speaking anymore. And I don't know if you stepped back or if I stepped away, but I used to burn and now I float. I used to live in color. Now it's just grayscale days blending into each other. I smile when I'm supposed to, I nod, I work, I sleep. But the fire's gone, and I didn't even notice it fading. That's the strangest thing about numbness, God. You don't see it coming. You don't even mourn when it arrives. You just wake up one day and realize you're no longer reaching out. Not because you've changed, but because I did. I got tired of unanswered questions, tired of unanswered prayers, tired of the effort it took to care so much about things I couldn't control. So I stopped trying to feel. And now that I've gone quiet, everything else has too. Even you. And yet, even in this silence, even in this float, some tiny part of me still remembers what it felt like to burn. And I miss it. I miss me. The me who believed you were listening. The me who cried and felt relief. The me who expected you to show up. Because now, I don't expect much. I don't blame you. I just stopped hoping. And I don't know how to get that back. Because fire doesn't return on command, and feeling doesn't answer to willpower. It's either there or it's not. So I wait, and I whisper, and I hope. Barely, that maybe one day I'll feel the flicker again. That maybe one day you'll breathe on the ashes and remind me what it means to burn. Not with pain, not with chaos, but with presence, with love, with the nearness of something holy that I don't have to chase anymore. Until then, I float, and I offer this stillness as my prayer. Not because it's full of faith, not because it's brave, but because it's all I have left. A quiet, hollow offering from someone who used to burn.
Did I give up or let go? Hey God, I've been wondering about something lately. Did I let go or did I give up? Because there's a fine line between surrender and silence, between trusting you and walking away because I stopped believing you'd show up. I used to think I knew the difference. I used to speak so confidently about laying things at your feet, about letting go and letting God, about the holy act of surrender. But now I don't know if I surrendered to you or just stopped showing up altogether. I stopped asking, stopped hoping, stopped waiting for you to fix it. And at first, it felt mature, like maybe I was finally growing in my faith. But now it feels more like I've disconnected, like I've unplugged from the conversation because I got tired of speaking into silence. Did I let go, God? Or did I give up? I don't know anymore. Because surrender is supposed to be sacred, a peaceful yielding, an open hand trusting that you'll take care of what I can't carry. But this feels like collapse. Like my hand didn't open, it just dropped the weight and walked away. And yet, I'm still here. I didn't run, I didn't rebel, I just stopped trying. Is that the same as giving up? Because I don't feel angry, I don't feel bitter, I'm not stomping around yelling that you abandoned me. I just got quiet. Like something in me shut off, not out of defiance, but out of depletion. And I think that's what scares me the most. Not that I'm mad at you, not that I've turned my back on you, but that I've slipped into a spiritual coma so subtle I almost didn't notice it happening. People talk about falling away from faith, like it's a storm or a crisis or a moral failure. But what about when you don't fall? You just fade. One missed prayer at a time. One unanswered ache at a time. One numb morning at a time. Until eventually, you're still doing all the right things on the outside, but inside, you've left the room. And God, if I'm honest, I don't know how to come back. Because I don't even know where I went. Did I give up? Or did I grow tired of carrying expectations that crushed me? Did I lose faith? Or did I lose the strength to hope for things that always stayed just out of reach? I'm not sure anymore. And maybe it doesn't even matter to anyone else. But it matters to me. Because if I gave up, I want to find my way back. But if I let go, I want to know that you caught what I couldn't carry anymore. I want to know you're still holding it. I want to believe that letting go isn't always failure, that sometimes it's mercy, that sometimes when we stop fighting, it's not quitting, it's breathing. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I wasn't supposed to carry all that weight forever. Maybe I wasn't built to be strong every day.
But if I let go, God, why do I feel so empty? If I laid it down, why does my soul still feel so flat? Why don't I feel relief? Why does it feel like I disappeared with the burden? I don't know how to define this place I'm in. It's not despair. It's not peace. It's not grief or joy. It's the absence of both. And in this absence, I keep wondering, where are you? Are you in this grayness? Are you with me here, even when I'm not reaching for you? Because if this is surrender, God, I need to know you're still holding on. Because I'm not. I need to know that your grip is stronger than my weakness. That even if I stopped praying, you didn't stop listening. That even if I stopped searching, you didn't walk away. Because somewhere inside me, buried deep beneath the numbness, I still want to believe you're near. I still want to believe that this stillness isn't abandonment, but a pause, a breath, a place to rest before I begin again. I want to believe that not feeling doesn't mean not belonging. That even now, when I'm unsure if I let go or gave up, you still see me. You still want me. And maybe you're the only one who knows the difference. So I'll stop trying to name it. Stop trying to sort it into a clean category of faith or failure. Instead, I'll just say this. If I gave up, bring me back. If I let go, hold what I can't. And if I'm still floating somewhere in between, stay with me in the drift until I feel again, until I trust again, until I burn again, or until I simply know that even in my silence, I am still yours.
This stillness feels dangerous. Hey God, everyone says stillness is good, that we should quiet our souls, find rest in you, be still and know. But this stillness I'm in, it doesn't feel holy. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like knowing anything at all. It feels dangerous. Not in an obvious way. Not like chaos or destruction. Not like loud rebellion or angry words. It's the danger of drifting so far out into the quiet that you forget what noise even sounded like. It's the danger of silence that feels permanent. Of apathy disguised as serenity, of losing the ability to tell the difference between calm and collapse. This stillness, God, it's not you. I don't think it's you, because you are peace. But this isn't peace. It's numb. It's gray. It's hollow. It's the kind of stillness where nothing moves. Not even faith, where hope doesn't tremble, it just lies flat. Where love doesn't roar or whisper, it just disappears. I didn't mean to get here. I didn't choose this blankness on purpose, but it's where I've ended up. And the worst part is, no one sees it. On the outside, I'm functioning. I smile, I nod, I even say I'm good when someone asks. But inside, there's a silence that feels like sleep. Not rest, just unawareness. Like I've pulled the covers over my soul because it was easier to be untouched than to be undone again. God, this stillness, it feels like a lie I'm telling myself. That I'm okay. That I've accepted everything. that I've surrendered. But the truth, I've shut down. Emotionally, spiritually, maybe even physically. Because feeling hurts. And I got tired of hurting. So I buried the ache beneath this false quiet and called it peace. But it's not peace. It's resignation. It's a silent scream I no longer have the voice to release. And sometimes I wonder, can you hear what I no longer say? Do you notice the prayers I've stopped praying? Do you see the flame that went out? Because if I'm honest, I don't miss the chaos. I don't miss the constant battle for clarity or answers, but I do miss something. Something real. Something alive. Something that made me feel like I wasn't just existing. Even pain would be welcome now, because at least pain meant I was connected to something, to someone, to you. This stillness, God, it's too quiet. Not sacred quiet, not restful quiet, but empty quiet. And the longer I sit in it, the more I wonder if I'll ever want anything again. If I'll ever fight for joy again, or cry from relief, or tremble at the sound of your name. Right now, I don't tremble. I don't feel awe. I don't feel anything. And that scares me. Because this stillness, this dangerous stillness, makes it easy to stay asleep. To stop trying, to stop reaching, to stop believing there's anything left on the other side of numb. And I don't want that. I don't want this to be my permanent address. I don't want to mistake survival for surrender. I want to want again. I want to care again. I want to be moved, even if it breaks me. Because at least then I'd know I'm still alive. At least then I'd know I haven't disappeared beneath the weight of pretending I'm okay. So God, if you're still near, if you're still watching, if you're still holding the parts of me I've numbed, will you shake me gently? Not to punish me, not to scare me, just to wake me. Just enough to remember what it felt like to feel you. Just enough to remind me that silence isn't always peace, and stillness isn't always surrender. Sometimes it's a trap, a quiet prison built from exhaustion and guarded by indifference. I want out, not into chaos, not into storm, but into real peace, the kind that breathes, the kind that sings, the kind that holds me when I forget how to hold myself. Because I think I forgot. And now I'm here. Not broken, not burning, just suspended. And this stillness, this dangerous stillness, is where I'm waiting. For a whisper, for a flicker, for something sacred to rise again. For you.
The prayers I don't say anymore. Hey God. There are prayers I used to say without even thinking. Little breath prayers, whispered into my coffee steam. One-liners spoken over my shoes as I tied them. Silent pleas mouthed in traffic or scribbled in the margins of my planner. They weren't fancy. They weren't profound. Just simple things. Be with me. Please help. Show me what to do. I trust you. And then one day, I noticed I wasn't saying them anymore. Not because I didn't believe them, not because I was angry, not even because I wanted to stop, but because something inside me went quiet. I stopped saying grace at meals because the gratitude felt forced. I stopped journaling because the pages echoed with emptiness. I stopped praying before bed because I didn't know what to say anymore except, "I'm tired." And even that felt too small for how heavy my heart had become. God, where did those prayers go? The ones I used to send up like paper airplanes, naive, hopeful, childlike, did they land anywhere? Or did they just drift and fall and vanish? Sometimes I wonder if you miss my voice, because I miss it. I miss the girl who used to talk to you like you were sitting across from her, who didn't wait for the right time or the right words, who prayed messy, out of breath, middle of the day kind of prayers. Now, I don't pray much at all. I think about you, I still believe in you, but I don't reach out like I used to. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't know how anymore. How do you pray when you've run out of words? When you've already asked 1,000 times and the silence only grew heavier? When your deepest longing no longer feels sacred, but embarrassing? How do you pray when everything feels stuck on repeat and the answers don't seem to come? Or worse, they come for everyone else but you? I used to believe you heard me. Now, I hope you read between the lines of my silence, that you can hear the prayers I don't say anymore, the ones I stopped praying out loud but never stopped needing, the ones that lived in my chest and disappeared into quietness, the ones I whispered under my breath while pretending everything was okay, the ones I scribbled and scratched out, the ones I forgot mid-sentence, the ones I was too ashamed to say because they felt too selfish, too desperate, too broken. God, gather them, hold them like treasures, speak them back to me when I forget who I was before the silence took over. Because I think my silence is not rebellion. It's not rejection. It's not faithlessness. It's just exhaustion. It's the sound of a heart that tried to stay soft but grew tired of bruising itself against closed doors. So tonight, I don't bring you a list. I don't bring you eloquence. I bring you the void, the space where prayers used to be. And I ask you to fill it with something I don't have words for yet. Until the words come back, until the ache finds a voice again, until the stillness becomes sacred again. Just stay here with me, in the place where the prayers used to be. When I stopped asking for rescue. Hey God, I don't remember the exact moment I stopped asking for rescue. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was subtle, like falling asleep in a room where the lights were slowly dimming. One day, I realized I wasn't asking anymore. Not for miracles, not for answers, not even for strength. I just stopped. Stopped asking you to step in, stopped hoping you'd part the sea or calm the storm, stopped imagining that you might change things. Because when the rescue doesn't come, after the first 100 prayers, after the tears, after the surrender, something inside you shifts. Not because you're cruel, not because I stopped loving you, but because I got tired. Tired of begging, tired of waiting, tired of waking up each morning with the same pain and going to bed with the same unanswered questions. I used to plead with you, God, beg you to move, beg you to heal, beg you to do something. And you did, sometimes. Other times, it felt like nothing happened at all. And I tried to trust you in both. I really did. But eventually, the weight of hope became heavier than the pain itself. Because hope is heavy, God. It's brave, it's bold, it takes courage to keep believing when nothing is changing. But courage runs out. And when it did, I stopped asking for rescue. Not because I thought you didn't care, but because I couldn't take another moment of believing you might, only to be met with silence. I couldn't keep setting my heart up for disappointment, so I started settling. Settling into this life as it is. Settling into unanswered prayers. Settling into silence that didn't feel like peace, but at least didn't hurt anymore. And maybe that's worse. Maybe numbness is more dangerous than pain. But numbness is quieter, easier to live with. And I think I chose ease over expectation, because expectation started to feel like a setup, a cruel game I didn't want to play anymore. So I stopped asking for rescue. I stopped looking for a way out, stopped hoping for a sudden shift, a divine interruption, a turning of the tide. And instead, I just sat down in the middle of the wreckage, not screaming, not reaching, just sitting. And I told myself it was surrender. But maybe it was something else. Maybe it was self-protection. Maybe it was giving up in disguise. Maybe it was survival. Because sometimes asking for rescue feels too vulnerable, too dangerous, when rescue hasn't come. So instead, we build a life inside the storm. We make peace with the wreckage. We pretend it's normal to live like this. But God, there's a part of me that still wonders if you noticed that I stopped asking, that I stopped believing you'd show up, that I learned how to float in the flood because I didn't think you'd part the waters. And I don't blame you. I don't resent you. I just miss believing that you would come running when I cried out. I miss thinking you were just around the corner, ready to lift me out of the pit. I miss the faith that prayed like rescue was a guarantee, not a maybe. But now I pray less like a daughter and more like someone filing paperwork in a quiet office. Professional, polite, detached. Because I've trained myself not to expect much. And that's not who I want to be, God. That's not the relationship I want with you. I don't want to be the one who stopped asking, who stopped hoping, who stopped waiting. But I also don't know how to try again, because trying feels risky, and my heart's still tired. So, if you're still near, would you be the one to reach for me this time? I don't need a rescue with flashing lights. I don't need a miracle in the clouds. I just need to know that even when I stopped asking, you never stopped watching. That even when I fell silent, you still heard the ache. That even when I didn't knock, you stood at the door anyway. Because I want to believe you still move, that you still come close, that you still save. Even when we stop asking for rescue. even when we've forgotten how to hope, even when we're too tired to reach, God, reach for me anyway.
The absence of tears. Hey God, I used to cry so easily. You know that, don't you? There was a time when the pain would rise like a tide I couldn't hold back. My eyes would flood, my chest would heave, and I'd break, loudly, messily, honestly. Sometimes I'd cry in worship. Sometimes I'd cry from exhaustion. Sometimes I didn't even know why I was crying. I just knew that something deep inside me needed to be released. Tears were my language. Tears were my offering. Tears were my way of saying, God, I don't have words, but please, be near. But now I don't cry. Not even when I'm hurting. Not even when I think I should. It's not because I'm stronger. It's not because the pain is gone. It's not even because I found peace. It's because something inside me has gone quiet. So quiet that even the tears stopped coming. And I don't know if that's healing or if it's just another kind of broken. Because there's a strange kind of grief in the absence of tears. You start to wonder if you've lost your capacity to feel, if you've buried the ache so deep that not even your soul can find it anymore. Sometimes I sit in the dark and wait for the lump in my throat, wait for the sting in my eyes, wait for the wave to come crashing down and remind me that I'm still human. But nothing comes. Just breath? Just silence? Just the slow, steady hum of a heart that isn't sure what it's holding anymore. God, why don't I cry? Why does everything feel frozen? Did I run out of tears? Or did I decide, somewhere deep inside, that crying didn't change anything? Because that's how it started, I think. I'd cry and nothing would change. I'd cry and the silence would stay. I'd cry and I'd still feel alone. So eventually I stopped. I told myself it was maturity, that grown-ups don't fall apart so easily, that faith means holding it together. But faith isn't supposed to be a cage, is it? It's not supposed to harden your heart until you forget how to weep. I miss weeping. I miss the release, the rawness, the way tears made me feel close to you, like you were catching them one by one and whispering, I see you, I'm here. Now there's just this blankness. And I wondered, do you still see me when the pain has no tears to dress itself in? Do you still draw near when grief wears a mask of indifference? Because the ache is still here, God. It's just quieter, deeper, heavier. It doesn't shout anymore. It just sits beside me, like an old friend who stopped trying to speak. And I've grown so used to its company that I don't even know how to be without it. God, if I can't cry, will you cry for me? Will you feel what I can't? Will you hold what I no longer know how to express? Because somewhere inside me, I still believe that tears are sacred. Even the ones that never fall. Even the ones that get stuck behind tired eyes and silent prayers. I want to feel again. I want to break again. Not because I enjoy the pain, but because it reminds me I'm still alive. And because sometimes
the only way to heal is to be undone. So here I am, dry-eyed, quiet-voiced, half asleep in my own heart, asking you to stir what has grown still, asking you to bring the flood if it will lead to something real. I'm not afraid of the tears anymore. I'm afraid of never needing them again. So break me open gently, God. Not to wound, but to awaken. Let sorrow do its work. Let healing find its way through the cracks in my quietness. Let the absence of tears become the invitation for something sacred to return. And if I cry again, let it be with you beside me.
If I'm not fighting, am I fading? Hey God, I used to fight. You know I did. I fought for hope, for faith, for clarity, for joy, for breath. There were nights I wrestled with you like Jacob. Nights I refused to sleep until you gave me something. A whisper, a word, a sense that you still saw me. I fought to hold on when everything in me wanted to let go. I fought to stay soft when life kept hardening me. I fought to believe you were good when nothing around me felt kind. I wasn't always strong, but I was stubborn, relentless, raw. I used to bring you fists full of questions and a heart too bruised to carry. But now I don't fight anymore. I don't wrestle, I don't argue, I don't ask why. I've gone quiet, soft but not in a sacred way, still but not in peace. I'm just still. And part of me wonders, is this growth? Is this maturity? Have I finally learned to let go and let God? Or have I just faded? Because fighting meant I was alive. Wrestling meant I cared. Tears meant I hadn't given up. But now I float through my days like a shadow of who I used to be. And the question that haunts me is this: if I'm not fighting, am I fading? Have I become someone who no longer has the strength to reach? Or worse, someone who no longer wants to? Because apathy is sneaky. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rage. It slips in slowly, disguised as peace, masquerading as rest, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you haven't asked God a single honest question in weeks, because you stopped believing answers were coming. That's where I am now, and I hate admitting it, because I used to be fiery, used to be full of noise and color and movement. My faith was loud, even when it was messy, even when it was bleeding. Now my faith is quiet. So quiet, I sometimes wonder if it's still there. And yet I still talk to you. Not like I used to, not with urgency or eloquence, but in these small, broken breaths that barely count as prayer. Maybe that means I haven't completely disappeared. Maybe that means I'm not fully gone. But God, if I'm honest, it feels like I'm dissolving, like I'm becoming invisible, even to myself. Not in one sudden collapse, but in tiny, forgettable ways. I stopped journaling, stopped singing in the car, stopped walking outside just to feel the wind. I stopped asking for more because I forgot what more even meant. And now I wonder, have you noticed? Did you see me go quiet? Did you feel the shift when I stopped wrestling and started disappearing? Because I don't want to fade, God. Even if the fire hurt, even if the fight left me breathless, even if the wrestling left me limping, at least it meant I was still alive, still in it, still with you. Now I just feel suspended, and I miss being grounded. I miss being certain of something, even if that certainty came with bruises. So if I'm fading, would you call me back? Would you reach through this fog and say my name the way you used to? Would you remind me that stillness doesn't have to mean disappearance, that there is holy quiet, but also harmful silence? I want to come back, God. I don't know how, but I want to. So if I'm not fighting anymore, please don't let me drift so far that I forget how it felt to be held by you in the middle of the war. And if you see me fading, even when I don't, pull me close again, even if I don't resist, even if I don't reach, even if I don't speak. Let my fading be the place where you whisper me back to life.
Where are you when I feel nothing? Hey God, where are you when I don't feel anything? Not sorrow, not joy, not conviction, not peace, nothing. I sit here, quiet, still, breathing, but I feel so vacant. Not angry, not broken, just gone. I know you haven't moved. I've said that before, sung it even. You never leave, you never change. But God, if you're still here, why can't I feel you? I used to. I used to feel your presence so close it made me tremble. I used to hear you in the softest winds, in the quiet of early morning, in the tears that came without warning. Now all I hear is the hum of the ceiling fan, and my own breath, and the distant echo of a soul that doesn't stir anymore. Where did you go? Or where did I go? Because I don't think you left, but I'm afraid I might have. Not on purpose, not in rebellion, but in retreat. Because when the pain lasted too long, and the answers never came, and the silence became louder than my prayers, I stopped listening. Not because I didn't want you, but because I didn't know if you were still speaking. And now this numbness feels like a wall that I can't find my way through. And behind that wall, I hope you're still there, but I don't know. And that unknowing hurts in a way that silence alone never could. God, are you near when I'm emotionally absent? Do you still draw close when I no longer run to meet you? Do you sit beside me when I forget how to reach out? I'm not asking for a miracle tonight. Not asking for a sign in the sky or a verse that jumps off the page or a sudden overwhelming rush of peace. I'm asking for something quieter, more hidden, more intimate. Just the assurance that I haven't drifted so far that you can't find me in the fog. Because I feel like I'm wrapped in a heavy silence, like someone turned down the volume on my soul, and now I don't even recognize the sound of faith anymore. But I want to. I want to feel again. I want to sense you again. Even if it's just a whisper. Even if it's just the brush of something sacred across my shoulder as I sit in this still room. I miss you, even though I can't feel you. And maybe that's proof that you're still here, that longing itself is a form of presence. Maybe this ache is the evidence. Maybe numbness is not the absence of you, but the part of me that's been overwhelmed by too much for too long and needs time to thaw. So I'll sit here, quiet, blank, unsure, but still hoping that even if I can't feel you, you still feel me. That you see my silence and know it used to be fire. That you hear the space between my thoughts and recognize it as prayer. That you understand the ache beneath my stillness is just a soul waiting to remember again what it means to be held. Because I'm not asking you to fix anything tonight. I'm not asking you to wake up the parts of me that feel dead. I'm just asking you to stay in the numbness, in the quiet, in the not feeling, until I feel again, until I remember again, until I come back. Because if you're still here, then I'm not lost, just quiet, just waiting, just yours.
The fear of feeling again. Hey God, I need to admit something tonight. Something I haven't said out loud. Maybe because I didn't even realize it until just now. I'm afraid to feel again. Not because I don't want to, not because I don't miss it, but because I remember how much it hurt the last time. And somewhere along the way, I decided that silence was safer, that numbness was easier to manage than a heart wide open and bleeding. Because when you feel again, you hope again. And when you hope again, you risk again. You risk disappointment, you risk heartbreak, you risk being let down by people, by circumstances, by unanswered prayers, by the ache that settles in when the thing you dared to want doesn't come. God, I think I stopped feeling because I couldn't take another loss. Not just the big ones, not just death or heartbreak or failure, but the small ones too. The daily little griefs that piled up like dust in the corners of my soul. I used to cry when things felt wrong. Now, I don't react. I just absorb it, nod, keep going, tell myself it's fine. Because if I don't feel it, I don't have to process it. I don't have to name it. I don't have to wrestle with what it says about me or you or the way life is sometimes too much. So I built this quiet shell around my heart, and for a while, it worked. No more tears, no more panic, no more cracking open in front of people who didn't know how to hold me. But God, now I don't just feel safe, I feel gone. And that's not what I want. Because I know you didn't create me to live half alive, to love halfway, to grieve halfway, to worship with one eye open, watching the exit door in case you don't show up. I want to feel again, but I'm terrified. Terrified of what might come up. Terrified that if I let my soul wake up, it might scream. Terrified that the tears won't stop, that the sadness I've buried will flood the room and I won't know how to breathe through it. But I also know this: numbness isn't peace, avoidance isn't healing, and silence isn't always sacred. Sometimes it's just self-protection disguised as surrender. And I'm tired of hiding behind it. I want to want again, even if that want breaks me. I want to laugh and mean it, to cry and not apologize for it, to hope recklessly the way I used to when I believed you were closer than my next breath. I don't want to live a quiet, careful life, pretending I'm okay with whatever comes just because I'm afraid of being undone again. So here's my shaky prayer tonight. God, if I open up again, please be gentle. If I let the feelings come back, please hold me when they do. If the tears rise again, don't let me cry alone. If the fear shows up, remind me that I don't have to face it without you. Because I think I'm ready. Or at least I'm ready to want to be ready. To be soft again, to be moved,
to care so deeply, it scares me. Because that's when I felt most alive. Not when I was strong, but when I was real. So break down the walls slowly, God. Melt the ice one corner at a time. Whisper to the parts of me that flinch when love gets too close. Tell them they're safe now, that you're not going anywhere, that I don't have to brace for impact every time I feel something deeply. I want to come back to life, not just function, not just survive. I want to feel you again, even if it hurts, even if it costs me the safety of numbness, because you're worth it. And I miss you, not just knowing you, but experiencing you. So if the flood comes, so be it. If the tears come, let them fall. If the ache returns, sit with me in it. And remind me again and again that I wasn't meant to be numb. I was meant to feel, to love, to break and be remade. And you're not afraid of any of it. So tonight, I breathe deep, I open just a little, and I say, I'm willing, even if I'm scared, even if it hurts, even if it's slow. I want to feel again, and I want you in the middle of it.
When belief is a quiet pulse. Hey God, sometimes I wonder if I still believe. Not because I've stopped saying you're real, not because I've stopped calling you God, not because I've rejected you, but because everything feels so quiet inside. And belief, the kind I used to have, felt loud. It moved things. It shook things. It burned in my bones. Now it feels like a faint rhythm, like something I'm not even sure is still there until I put my ear against the silence and listen for a sound I can't quite name. And you know what's strange, God? Even in my numbness, even when I'm emotionally disconnected, even when I don't feel you, I still whisper your name. I still breathe prayers in my head while I pretend I'm not praying. I still look up at the ceiling when I can't sleep, and somewhere deep inside, a part of me still says, "Are you there?" Maybe that's belief. Not loud, not passionate, not fiery. Just present. Like a quiet pulse under the skin. Weak but steady. Faint but alive. God, I think belief looks different than I used to think it did. I used to believe faith was noise. Hands raised, voices lifted, declarations shouted through tears. But now I think belief might also be just staying. Staying in the room when you feel far. Staying in the stillness when I feel numb. Staying connected to the thread, even when I can't find the words to pray. Maybe belief isn't something I perform. Maybe it's something I carry, even when I don't know I'm carrying it. Maybe it's in the way I still show up, in the way I still whisper your name, even though I don't expect an answer. In the way I haven't walked away completely, even though I've been tempted to do so. Maybe it's in the way I talk to you like this, softly, slowly, honestly, without pretense or performance. Because I don't have much to offer you these days. No fire, no eloquence, no grand expressions of devotion. Just this. Just me. Still here. Still speaking. Even if my voice is quieter now. Even if my belief has turned from a shout into a whisper. Even if the pulse of faith inside me
feels more like a memory than a movement. I still believe. Maybe not like I used to, maybe not with fire, but with a kind of tired loyalty that says, even if I don't feel you, I won't stop calling you mine. And that has to count for something, right? That has to mean you're still here, still listening, still holding me even when my grip on you is soft and slipping. God, if belief is a quiet pulse, then I trust you can still feel it, even when I can't, even when I question everything, even when I doubt my worth, my voice, my ability to be spiritual, even when I sit in silence instead of shouting prayers, even when I just exist. I know you see the spark that hasn't gone out. I know you see the thread that hasn't snapped. I know you feel the heartbeat beneath the numbness. And maybe that's all faith has to be in seasons like this. Not loud, not powerful, not even certain. Just present. Just barely alive. Just not gone. So I won't shame myself for the quietness of my belief. I won't compare it to what it used to be. I'll let it be small. I'll let it be simple. I'll let it be a pulse that you know how to find even in the silence. Because if you're still here, and I believe you are, then I'm not lost, even if I feel like I've wandered. Even if all I can say tonight is I still want you, even if I don't know how to feel you. That's faith too, a quiet pulse, still beating, still yours.
Just stay with me in this blankness. Hey God, tonight I'm not asking you to speak. I'm not asking you to move, to heal, to change anything. I'm not even asking you to fix me. I just need you to stay here, in this place, in this blankness, because I don't know where I am anymore. Spiritually, emotionally, even physically some days. I go through the motions, I check the boxes, I show up where I'm supposed to show up. But inside, it's just still. Still in the kind of way that isn't peaceful, just empty. And I've spent so much time trying to get out of this space. I've tried praying louder. I've tried reading more, doing more, repenting harder, hoping stronger. But none of it unlocked the door. None of it woke me up from this fog. So maybe it's not about escaping it. Maybe it's about being met in it. God, I don't need you to break down the walls tonight. I just need to know you're sitting on the other side of them. That even in this quiet void, you haven't left me. That even when I bring you nothing, no worship, no insight, no passion, no tears, you still want to be near. Because what I fear most isn't staying stuck. It's being stuck alone. I can handle the silence if I know you're in it with me. I can handle the blankness if I know it's not evidence of your absence. I can breathe in this fog if I know that somewhere in it, you're breathing beside me. I don't need fireworks. I don't need thunder. I don't need goosebumps or glory or golden light. I just need quiet presence. The kind that doesn't ask anything of me. The kind that doesn't rush me out of this place. The kind that says, you don't have to feel anything right now. I'm still here. Because the hardest part of this numbness
is wondering if you got tired of waiting for me to come back to life. Wondering if you've moved on to louder prayers, to stronger believers, to people who still cry when they worship or feel conviction when they fall. But if you're still here, if you're still near, then maybe I can stop trying so hard to escape. Maybe I can just sit and breathe and let you love me in this exact state. Emotionally flat, spiritually tired, mentally distant. God, I don't have anything to offer you right now, except my honesty. So here it is. I'm numb. I'm tired. I don't know what I believe about this season. I don't know what I believe about myself. But I still believe something about you is good. And I want that to be enough. Just for tonight, let that be enough. Let this moment be sacred, even if it's silent, even if it's blank, even if I can't feel a thing. Let your presence fill this hollow space without demanding that I rise from it too quickly. Because I think healing is slow. I think waking up takes time. And I think you're the kind of God who's not in a rush. So stay with me here. In this blankness, in this breathless pause between who I was and who I might become. Stay until I feel something again, until the fog lifts, until my soul remembers how to sing. And if that takes a while, don't leave. Sit beside me, say nothing. Just be. That will be enough. Because maybe presence is the miracle I needed all along. I'm not okay, but I'm still yours. Hey God, let's just say it plainly tonight. I'm not okay, and I don't have the energy to pretend anymore. I'm not falling apart in a dramatic way. I'm not crying in the corner. I'm not yelling into the sky. But I'm also not me. Not the me who used to wake up with purpose. Not the me who used to walk with faith like it was oxygen. Not the me who used to talk to you with a smile or cry with wide open trust. That version feels far away now. Faint, distant, like a friend I used to know but haven't spoken to in a long time. And I don't say that with bitterness. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anyone. I just don't feel like myself anymore. And yet, even in this hazy, dulled-down version of me, even when my words are flat and my prayers are few, I still feel something deep inside that refuses to let go of you. God, I don't feel strong. I don't feel wise. I don't feel full of faith. But I still feel yours. And maybe that's the only thing I'm sure of right now. Not who I am, not what I'm doing, not where I'm going, but whose I am. Because even when I'm not okay, even when I'm half-hearted and half awake, I still belong to you. Not because I earned it, not because I performed for it, not because I feel holy, but because you claimed me when I was at my worst, and you haven't let go since. God, I'm tired of measuring my worth by how put together I am, by how spiritual I sound, by how many prayers I pray, or how loudly I worship, or how emotionally moved I get in your presence. Right now, all I have is this. I'm not okay, but I'm still showing up. Still whispering, still looking in your direction, still hoping you haven't changed your mind about me. And maybe that's faith. Maybe real faith isn't loud and shiny and full of motion. Maybe it's just this, coming to you in my emptiness and saying, Don't let go of me. I don't want to perform for you, God. I don't want to hide behind quiet smiles or hollow hallelujahs. I want to be real. And the real me right now is weary, worn out, unsure of who I'm becoming, but still believing somehow that I am loved. Still believing that your grace reaches into blank spaces and holds what I cannot hold myself. Still believing that you don't ask me to be okay before you call me beloved. So I offer you this version of me, the quiet one, the faded one, the one who feels like a shadow of the past, but who still whispers your name when the lights go out. I offer you the me who's not performing, not striving, just surviving. And I ask you to love me here too. Not just when I'm strong, not just when I'm loud, not just when I'm inspired or brave or full of fire, but when I'm soft, when I'm small, when I'm confused and numb and not okay. Because if I only belong when I'm shining, then I never truly belonged at all. But I believe I'm yours, even now, especially now. I believe you see past my silence and recognize the quiet cry in my chest. I believe you're not ashamed of me. I believe you stay, so I won't run. I won't hide this tired, undone version of myself. I'll sit here, open, honest, wounded but still willing, and I'll let you see me. Because even when I'm not okay, I'm still yours.
Until the feeling comes back. Hey God, this is it. The end of the prayer that never really started with a bang and won't end with one either. No miracles happened while I was speaking. No lightning cracked the sky. No sudden flood of peace washed over me and fixed everything. I'm still numb, still tired, still wrapped in this slow, colorless stillness that I can't seem to shake. But something's different now. Not louder, not brighter, not fixed. Just softer. And maybe that's something. Maybe softness is the first sign of healing. Because even though I still feel far from joy, far from fire, far from tears, far from passion, I don't feel so afraid of it anymore. I'm not rushing to escape the numbness tonight. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not pretending it isn't there. I'm just holding it, gently, with you beside me. And for the first time in a long time, that feels like enough. Not because it satisfies everything, but because it keeps me from sinking deeper. You've taught me something here, God. Something I didn't know I needed to learn. That you don't just live in the fire, or the flood, or the mountaintop. You live in the numbness too. In the gray days, in the quiet ones, in the moments when I have nothing to give, and you don't ask me for more. You sit with me when I've stopped fighting. You hold me when I forget how to pray. You love me when I don't feel lovable at all. And maybe that's the most sacred kind of love there is. Not the kind that celebrates my best, but the kind that stays for my worst. So I'll keep breathing, soft and slow. I'll keep showing up, even if I don't feel anything yet. And I'll keep whispering, even when my voice cracks. Because I believe, deep down, beneath all this stillness, that the feeling will come back. Not all at once, not like a flood, but like spring after a long, bitter winter. Quiet, unassuming, but alive. one green shoot at a time, one warm breeze, one tear that falls and doesn't feel forced. I believe that, God. I believe numbness doesn't last forever. I believe you're patient enough to wait with me in it. And I believe that when the feeling returns, when the fire flickers again, when the color starts to bloom inside my chest, you'll still be here. Not surprised, not impatient, not disappointed that it took this long. Just here. Just steady. Just as you've always been. So I'll keep walking, keep whispering, keep letting my soul breathe at its own pace. And if I go another day without crying, that's okay. If I pray without emotion, that's okay too. Because I've learned that love isn't proven by how loudly we feel it. It's proven by how quietly we stay. And I'm staying, God. Even when I feel nothing, even when the silence lingers, even when the spark hasn't returned. I'm still here. Still yours. Still hoping. Until the feeling comes back.